Well, Nui, I know I'm really early over here, but that's okay. I just wanted to hop right in. Um, Hi, Hypnicity. Wonderful, wonderful. I am too. Yeah, I had to. There had been. Well, I'll talk to it in a minute whenever more people have come in. But yeah, it's sorry that I am on here on a strange day. I normally do come on here on Tuesdays. Um, but yeah, whenever I started to load this week's on Tuesday, it just would not load. So it my streams came on just fine, but Spirit was saying not yet. So hey, Lori Hunsinger, voila, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to be back, and thank you so much for being patient. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna let people come in here first, and then I will speak to kind of behind the scenes what happened. Now I am trying this week. I do have kind of a limited Wi-Fi. I've been having a military plane flying overhead, so I'm just gonna give you a heads up. It seemed to have gone out, or at least down the coast, but it is conceivable whenever I'm chatting. That's part of why I wanted to just start the live stream sooner, is because if it comes back, it may also interfere. Also, I am trying this time without my headset. So please, dear ones, let me know if there is a problem with hearing me. Just let me know, and I will switch over to the headset. I don't like it. I don't like having to wear it. It really messes with my energy field. But I will do it in order to be heard. So let me see what we got. Paul. Paul is on the move again. Headed to Yo. Hi, Karen. Headed to Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee, home of the king. Mom would have been, oh, bless her, would have been 80 whenever she slid away. So we're celebrating next week. Yay! We never saw it before. So, oh, I so hope that it will be. Mom saw it 12 times. Oh, congratulations. I hope it's open and I hope you have a beautiful time down there. I got to see it whenever I was young, but we were only driving by. It was not open during that time frame. And so, but the gates of Graceland were amazing, and I was so obsessed with horses. And he always kept two horses in the stables in the back. He had a black one and a Palomino. It's lovely to see you again, Karen. Hi, Lori. So yesterday we had a no Tuesday. That might have been why I got the big no. And yeah, Hypnicity. I do have a base. We're not like right next to it, but it's within about 10 miles, maybe 15 miles from us. And of course, Portland has a lot of training that they do. And so we usually have a lot of guys come out, although usually we can talk. So Tuesday we had a large amount of galactic energy anchoring into Mother Gaia. And I heard that message from Alexander. And that would not surprise me. Tuesday, I was actually set to come back in, and the energy was just messed up for me. I had to slam on the brakes. I got yanked back, and so there was simply no way. And so I waited. And I thought at first that I would have to just simply wait until next week, but thankfully, Grandmother Whale, she's nope, we can do it today. Oh, okay. So today it is. So yeah, cool. Oh, that's wonderful. So yes, it is open as far as Paul knows, and can't wait. Wonderful. I hope you have a great time in Memphis. Be sure to stick to the known pathways. That there should be areas for tourism for tourists. So stick to those. hmm I don't know if it's still open or not, but one of the most amazing things I'd ever experienced. They did have a really cool zoo. I did enjoy that. But back in the day, they had something that was called the Pink Palace. And I don't know if the Pink Palace still exists, but it was one of the most incredible museums I have ever been to. And I saw it whenever I was a kid. But they had combined, there was a firefighter museum inside of it, which was a lot of fun too. But yeah, I know if as long as it's open and as long as you can go in to see it, yeah, mom loved it and was a big fan. That's wonderful. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah, I went to Memphis for the International Blues Challenge in 2020, but couldn't go to Graceland. So we went to the Sun Records. I could not afford to do both. Yeah, that's just it. Everything you can. And to be quite fair though, Sometimes it's better that way. Not even so much a matter of can afford to do both, but that you have the attention to be able to focus. So yeah, mom loved him. I'm sure she's going to just be thrilled. She'll probably be tagging along with you. I would not surprise it and be surprised in that big old mansion of his. So what happened? Prior to me needing to back away for a little bit, I had been feeling something quite large coming through and kind of underneath my baseline for whenever I do my meditations. And so it wasn't coming through because my day to day was still quite busy and taking up a lot of my attention and a lot of my focus and energy. And so I got the nudge from grandmother whale, and she pulled me back. It surprised me how long it took me to come into stillness. Tell Elvis he said hello. There's another woman that is a spirit that's around that place too, that will probably be saying hello as well. I can see her in a dress, like a white dress. Um, so yeah, seeing the Martin Luther King the day he died was a spiritual experience for sure. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, And so, as I was saying with grandmother whale, is going for a walk. Oh, hello, Annie Bear. I don't think it's Lisa Marie. I think it's an ancestor. It's an older woman that I can see. She's got an older hairstyle. She might even be from the 1800s. It could easily be before the Presleys came there onto the land itself. But she's standing in the kitchen itself. So you might actually see something whenever you're walking around, Paul. Paul, whenever you go, oh, okay, that might be it then. Whenever you go through, if you're actually intentionally looking for, it could be his mother or his grandmother then, because yeah, it looks like an 1800s woman. Like I said, white dress, ankle length. Um, she's got her hair done up in the bun, dark hair though, with a little bit of gray to it. She seems really warm and welcoming. She seems like a mama type. Like you kids behave yourselves and settle down, but I'll bake you something. Sort of a mother. And so if you're looking, I wouldn't doubt it. His energy is absolutely strong. His energy is really strong around the stables. Um, but yeah, it will permeate throughout the house. So if you're looking for a ghost, do you think it's haunted? I think what it is that the people that lived there were extremely happy, and that's just it. It does not have to be an unhappy event that causes us to imprint on our places. And so, like I said, with that figure that popped in my mind's eye, um, she's in her happiest in the kitchen, baking cookies or baking stuff for people. She loves to be able to do that. And her energy was really focused around the home. So what you can do is don't expect anything. Keep it chill. Don't actively try to look for something with your conscious mind. Allow your body to relax a little bit and then open up to it. And there's a very good chance that you could see something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So to get back to my grandmother whale story, yeah, basically it took me a long time to be able to pull back and to be quiet, a little bit longer than what I had expected. And so um, it took me a bit. So let me see. So I had a neighbor post a picture of a stray black cat. I think it could be my tango. Honey, if you think it's your tango, absolutely contact the neighbor and see, because there is every opportunity. It felt like at the time when you got the pups, Tango said no. Cats will vote with their feet, and so it felt to me like he had gone to a neighbor's home. Someone had taken him in and adopted him, but who's to say that maybe they needed to move, or perhaps he decided that he's had enough of that place. Maybe he's decided to go out and about, and he's wandering around doing a looky loo. So. Cool. So she'll text you. Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. I would look into it for sure. You'd be surprised. Sometimes the kitty cats, they'll be gone for quite a few years, and yet they'll be able to come right back. Cool. Okay, since everybody is here, I'm going Let's see if we can do slides and presentations. Oh, yep. So yeah, whenever I was doing grandmother whale, basically she has information coming through for me, and so I've been learning to do a lot more grounding, and there is not just the plasma that runs through us, kind of like what you see with this. The lightning bolt obviously is very, very eye-catching in this photo. This imagery. Yeah, he never kept the collar on, and the picture looks. See if you can go over there and see them. I really enjoyed saying Maha Waka Wakataki. Oh, that's neat. Sometimes I'll do that with different pieces of the Lemurian words. Sometimes it'll be toho, sometimes tona, sometimes even tonopah. It turned out to be a real city, which was surprising to me. But also the imagery on here evokes, you can see the plasma in the skies. And the plasma energy is all around us. And so I'm busy taking a journey right now to navigate some of the stuff behind the scenes as well. I would suggest that for sure, hypnicity. And one of the things you could do if you have any of your old blinkies or his old blinkies that might smell of him, something that might not, I'm hearing might not have a dog smell in it, since he objected to the dogs, but something that smells of you or your family or his favorite person, maybe put that down and see if he'll be attracted to it. And maybe you can just simply see him. And yes, there is a lot of galactic energy coming in. Not only that, if you look under my posts, you can also see that there is another, everybody's been fixated on the 3-eye atlas, but there is another one that's coming in October. People that have been in Australia have already seen it, and it's called Swan. And its entirety of the size of it is if you put 5 of the moons together, and it's coming in with a green glow. And so the people in Australia are already seeing that. You do need to have like binoculars or a telescope in order to see it. But supposedly in October, so about the first week or so of October, maybe say October 6th, we should begin to start seeing it after sunset. And it's supposed to be quite spectacular. But yeah, that one was called Swan. There are in total, I believe, 7 comets that are coming in, and they're doing what's called a perihelion. And so they will be coming in and doing a swing around our sun and then headed back out. The reason that Swan caught my eye was that it has been so long since it has been in here, at least according to another video that I had seen. It was supposed to have been 22,500 years since that one had taken a turn around. So my tinnitus is 2 tones lately. The right ear is lower than my left ear. Isn't that strange when that happens? I've had that. In fact, this morning I had my right ear. There was tones that were coming into my right ear. That kind of bothered me, so I took my head over. Was able to get it shifted a bit. And then the tone started on my left ear. But yes, there is a lot of galactic energy. And so one of the things that you can do is kind of like what Annie Bear is doing, where she's out walking in the great outdoors, getting grounded, being in nature always helps. You can take a walk on the beach, you can take a walk outside, your favorite trails, you can go hug one of your favorite trees, you can plant stuff. There's still plenty of stuff to be doing in your garden. You can do the tidy up and preparing for next year as well. But just being able to play in the dirt. See, Debbie YouTube says, Paul, I don't think you were ever allowed to go into the upstairs because that was still the private home. That's where the family was. So it was my understanding that with that, you only could really see the downstairs. And yes, we are still very much in the eclipse. We're still in the shadow. And so the shadow, from what I understand, will stay in place, and we're still allowing shadow things to work up and out and through so that it can play itself out. And that will happen until 3rd week, I think, in October. Yeah, that's just it. It was never an area that was open to the public. When Elvis was alive, that was still very much family area. And he, it was probably because he did so much work with the public and he was out performing and everything. His private areas, he did go out of his way to make sure that his private stuff stayed private, which was great. I really appreciated that he kept the boundaries in place. So Laurie's saying, I'm hoping that they are bringing in energies of change. No hoping to it. They're definitely bringing in change. It's a wild, wild ride for sure. So let's go over here to oh yes. If you are interested in the Lemurian astrology, Ikra, the eagle, is one of the support animals for this month's Namu. For Namu, we had two different support animals. We had the bear, Uta, and this one is Ikra, and this is the eagle. So the dove has the bear and the eagle as their supporting medicine for this month. That. Next, right here, and everybody on the replay, we're going to do some quick Lemurian technologies. Woot, woot, woot. Yep, shower the people you love with love. That was a beautiful song, Hit the City. I really like that one. Let's go over here into some codes. Got a picture of my grandmother whale. Mahakawatahi it ingawa to iri to one. Wayo tapu. It ingawa tafanui tarami tikau. Wayo tapu. It ingawa to fire tamaturta. Wayo tapu. Tire ori ora. It o. Ube I ul o ep. Tana nu ma. Il I hakta. Toro pote hitu makakika. Naro hawa tu takima takika tai tu te upo. There we go. Hello, Amanda Carroll. How are you? I think it's wonderful people are able to dip in here and actually listen to some of this stuff. There we go. Ta-da. Well, and as Lori Hunsinger is saying, I'm hoping that they're bringing in the energies of change. I'm hoping that everybody is capable of not just bringing in the energies because they will be coming here, but my hope is that everybody will be able to find their own footing and to be able to ease into the grounding that will be needed for that. You like that, huh? It does have a lot of power to it. And the cool thing about those codes is that they work multi-dimensionally because we are multi-dimensional beings. So it's working on you on several different levels. So we go from the absolute interior of your cells to the body itself and then through your work field and your environment as well. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Paul, I remember I had heard, I think that's been about a week or so ago, you actually had your spirit box working. Everybody's kind of ooh out there. Do you still have your power or your do you still have your spirit box? Do you still have it working or do you have it turned off? Yeah, last week that happened. Cool. With Terry and Kelly, and yes, it is working. That is wonderful. It's on right now. Okay. Well, we'll see if anybody comes through. Sometimes it can be trigger events. Sometimes it can be anybody that's coming through. Sometimes even elementals. we'll use a spirit box. It doesn't have to just be ghosts. It can be different beings that are coming through as well. Although I think about a week ago there was a lot of fluctuations with some of the old and some of the new. Boy, time has been a little bit strange. All I got was someone saying hello, and then it stopped. Yeah. Well, you never know. Did you reset it? I know sometimes they need recalibrations. Oh, I had one that was interesting too. That happened yesterday, but it also happened again this morning. Um, Annie Bear has a new show, and she started it yesterday. And so whenever I was sitting in the audience, I could hear a boom on her side of the audio, and then it sounded like the boom because I had headphones on came came on my side of the radio. And this morning, I don't know about anybody else, but I've seen different doppelgangers, and usually with a doppelganger, it's simple gangers all the time with my husband. Computer will so there it goes. Okay, great. Yeah, my Wi-Fi got knocked out there for a minute. What lovely to see you, Kat. So where was I? Please come back, please. There we go. Okay. So usually it's a double of the people. So I could hear what sounded like, well, ooey, hopefully this thing's going to hold. Um, I, my husband came through and did the same exact noise, but it was later on. There's lines, doppelgangers. Extremely stretchy. There have been a lot of timeline bleeds. That's what I think the doppelganger thing is about, especially at nighttime now. I will get probably about 14 hours of sleep in one night, which is it's kind of nice because I have been sleep deprived before with the galactics coming in and everybody coming in. There were 10th dimensional beings that were coming in and doing upgrades on my energy system. And for that, I'm grateful. But I got really good at napping because whenever they come in at nighttime, they were coming in with different colored lights, and it was waking me up a lot when they were working on me. So now it is where it feels like I've slept an entire night, and then say I'll go to bed at 8. I'll feel like I have slept an entire night, and then I look at the clock, and it's maybe 10. So it's kind of nice on the one hand, but yeah, the hour thing is really strange. Or I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but you look at the clock, you go and do a whole bunch of things, and it's only moved maybe a minute, or even weirder still, it'll be an earlier hour. Let's say I started something at 3 o'clock, and doing, and then I look and it's 2 something or other. Wait a minute. How can that be? This is a little strange. Even for me, this is a little strange. But there again, we are in some very new energies, and it's just a matter of learning to navigate. So let's see what we've got next. Okay, that's my last slide. So anybody want to do some energy balancing? Do some energy balancing real quick. I just ask if someone can come through. That's a really good That's a really good request, Paul. And yeah, for spirits especially, that's a really good idea. And some of the things you can do is just simply ask them too. It's like, hello, are you there? Does anyone want to talk with me? And I will alert you, you shouldn't have that so much for the spirit box. That should be more of a neutral thing. But if you suddenly feel a sucking sensation on your body or a dread, shut it off and you can sage the room because that will be a wrong entity coming through. You do not have to entertain them. You don't have to get fearful about it. You just simply cut off the communication. I've had to do that before countless times. And that's just it. You don't allow negativity to come through because they'll lie through their teeth. Big time. And the main thing is they're just entertaining you while they're sucking you like a battery. Oh, and that's one I did want to give a heads up on because we are coming into the haunting season. This is a time of the year whenever the veils do get thinner. And so a lot of times people will go exploring in places. And I want to caution just simply that sometimes you go into these abandoned buildings, please be alert to the fact that there is mold and sometimes rotted boards and things. So try to be safe as you're doing that. Do go in groups for safety because let's put it this way, if you've accidentally fallen through a rotted board and broke your leg, you're going to need somebody to help you. You're going to need some way to go out. And the other thing is, I know a lot of people will go into these places and they will have the lights off and they will try to attempt for the communication and they will suddenly in the dark. Did I blink out? I blinked out, didn't I? I pretty much like that. But yeah, what will happen is they'll accidentally drain, well, not accidentally, they're intentionally draining the battery. And sometimes they've been invited to do that. But okay, there is the main thing. Don't get yourself there in the middle of the midnight in a place you don't know, and suddenly you don't have any lights. That would stink. So let me see if I can. I don't think it'll help the Wi-Fi any, but I'm going to see if I can plug in my head. Can't see me. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to see if that works. There it goes. Okay. So my Wi-Fi is really struggling this morning. So this was probably going to be a shorter session today, but kind of like you see on the energy balancing, if you have pets around, and of course this is for any people as well, because people are critters too, and it won't just be puppies. Basically, if you have any kittens, oh, good. Okay, great. Thank you, Paul. But basically, if you have any kitties or birds or horses, any critter, and in fact, the wildlife tends to come very close whenever I'm doing this. But I think what I'm going to do today, since we're already pretty well in, instead of doing a full one, I'm just going to have as people, let's look up and then just gently close your eyelids down. And then just imagine a light coming from above. Let it be whatever color it wants to be. And what I'm going to do is we're going to just wash through with this light, power wash through
And I'm going to add in some of my own energy healing as we're going through. So feel it come through the top of your head, bathing your forehead, all through the skull and the brain, easing the glands of the brain, the upper palate, sinuses, nose, your eyes, bathing all through the optic nerves, your ears. Wow, there's a lot of challenge around the noses today. There we go. Down through the teeth, the lower jaw. See the light bathing through your throat and down through your neck, into the tops of the shoulders, all through the shoulder blades. You're welcome, Hypnicity. See this light teeming through the shoulders, down through the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists. Bright white lights, and this light bathing all around your hands, through the fingertips, and into Mother Earth. See the same light, keep that going through your arms. See it teeming down through the tops of your shoulders and into your heart space. All through the lungs, power washing the lungs, the heart, behind the lungs. In between the lung and the heart, there is a cavity that sometimes doesn't see the light of day. Let's just power wash in there. Break that up. And power wash the lungs themselves. Nurturing the heart. Wings of the shoulders. Yep, somebody's thoracics just popped in between the shoulder blades. That's great. See this light go down through the diaphragm into the tummy. Now I want you to turn up the volume of that color. Power wash all through the tummy, because as humans we tend to stuff our emotions, especially if we're busy. We'll stuff them in and then just go through the rest of our day. So we're just going to melt that down and see that same light power washing all the way down the spine, the big muscles that run alongside of it, down through into the hips, power washing the hips so that we feel safe in the world, good and grounded. And allow that light to go down through the thighs, your knees, so that you feel like you have choices and you can move forward in the world. Good. And down through the calves, your shins, ankles. Turn the light up a bit more. I want you to really power wash through here. Through the ankles, soles of your feet, the heels, the arches, ball of the feet, toes, into Mother Earth. Now we're going to bring up an energy. Mother Earth is gifting you her own energy. And feel that bubbling up through the bottoms of your feet. Let it be whatever color it wants to be. It can be the same color as above, or it can be a different color. And allow it to come up, bubbling up through the bottoms of your feet, through the feet, the ankles, kind of like a fizzy champagne. Feel it rising all the way up through the calves. Fizz, 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 up through the shins, all around the knees. Beautiful. Up through the thighs, bubbling up through the hips, up through your tummy. Remember to keep the light coming from above as well. And now this light from Mother Earth is bubbling up through the diaphragm, and both of these lights are going to meet in your chest space. That's great. Let them form a ball, a bubble, an orb, sphere, whatever you want to call it. Oh, or if you want to do an egg shape, sure. Heard somebody say teardrop. If you want to do a teardrop, you go for it. Now push that bubble out all the way around you. It could be 3 feet, it could be 5 feet, 10 feet or more. You'll know it because it'll snick comfortably into place. Now in this bubble, it's just you and the light coming from above and below. And now what we're going to do is imagine a pillar of light coming from Mother Earth. It's going to be a bright white light, and it's going to come out and cocoon all of the light that Mother Earth was giving you. It's going to come around the outsides of your bubble, and it's going to go all the way up around the outside of the light that came from above, and it's going to anchor out, go out, out, out through the space, through the galactics to the central sun. It's a bright white light. So that your bubble is now held in this pillar of light, anchoring you from above and below. There you go. Beautiful. Anytime that you need, you can come back in and you can do this reset for yourself. And sometimes this can be really helpful to do whenever you are out and about and you're trying to navigate your way in the world, especially if you're an empathic person. You can imagine extra bubbles. Yeah, it is the divine white light of protection. Or you can imagine this gigantic rod of light. As Hypnicity is saying, it is a divine white light of protection to help anchor you. And sometimes this can be very helpful if the energies that are coming from the cosmos are kind of leaving you turbulent, especially if your energy system is having trouble grounding. This can help you to get more grounded, to feel more secure in your position in the cosmos and in the world. Oh, how pretty. Paul was seeing a blue, yellow, green light. That's gorgeous. And as I said, I did some energy balancing whenever we were going through it as well. So your meridians, which are your rivers of energy in and around your body, should all be flowing in the correct direction. Ooh, Cat's saying yellow from above, blue from below, and in the middle a blended green. Wow. That's very similar to what Paul was seeing. Only reversed, huh? Yeah, the light was going up and down. Very cool. That is so cool. I think your color patterns were different though. I think Paul was seeing the blue from above. You were seeing the yellow from above. But how neat. How really, really neat. I love the fact too that both of you came up with the same greens. You're painting with color. Energy colors. Very, very cool. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It feels really, really good. And especially if you're an empathic person and people say, well, what's that? If you're someone who can walk through a grocery store and you were in a great mood before you went in and suddenly you become angry or you become sad for no reason, odds are good that you're an empathic person. And what that means is you're capable of picking up energy from other people, but you have to stay aware of what is your energy and what is someone else's energy. And so by doing this and setting this in place before going into places where there'll be a lot more people, this will help to strengthen your own boundaries for your own auric field, your own energy field. Oh, cool. I always play it back. Yes, see, Kat's saying that she's one of the people that are would be classed as an empath. So they're more internal instead of external for that expression. Thanks, Hypnicity. Let's see. Oh, we still have time here, so thanks for stopping in. So would we like to see the whale? Or would we like to see, I could go back to the lightning if you would like, or I can just take it off. If anybody has a preference for the background slide. Oh, Paul's going to pop out of here too. Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming by, you guys. Just going to hang out here for about another 10, 15 minutes. Oh, golly goodness. The whale. Okay, great. So we'll just hang out with my whale. Oh, no, you're going to stay here. Wonderful. Okay, great. So, yeah, we can just hang out and see what anybody thinks. And oh, my golly goodness. I have been listening to a guy. It's this, the channel is called, let me think, What Lurks Beneath. And he's on YouTube. Oh, my word. He does a little bit of everything. There's a lot of paranormal stuff that he does. Some of it I think might just be stories, but a lot of it seems to come from solid facts from either police reports or for sightings. And he does a lot of different. So there are dogmen, which I don't recommend anybody ever running into. Apparently, they're quite vicious. Even Bigfoot. It was incredible. So in the Midwest, from what I am told, from a man's report, this was a Bigfoot fellow that had had Bigfoot encounters, but he had had 2 encounters with dogmen. And he said from what he had heard of, it would have been, let me think about the tribe. I believe it was the Osage because it was from the southwest of Missouri. So yeah, I think it's the Osage. It was an elder from the Osage, and he had said in the 1800s, I believe, there had been a massive war between the Bigfoots that lived there and the dogmen. Actually, they called it not just dog man, it was a dog bear man. And by all accounts, these things are extremely vicious. They're violent. You could just call them demon spawn. And the Bigfoot had had enough. And so what had happened was with Bigfoot, they went to war with the dogmen. And the Indian tribes said that basically they had to stay. Oh, so Paul's getting something coming through his spirit box right now. Go see what it is. It should be something that is written on there. But what the natives said was, he said that the tribes knew that they had to stay out of the way. Apparently, it was extremely volatile and violent. And in the end, the Bigfoot won. They were capable of, hi, Carl. They were capable of shoving the dogmen, the dog bear men, as they called them, all the way back over the Mississippi River and cleared them out of that space. So it's been interesting to hear some of the stories that he was coming up with that have been shared with him. So sometimes it's UFO stories, sometimes it's ghost stories, sometimes it's things where it's they just simply sit back and go, I have no idea what that was. Like for example, there was for all the world, it was like a gigantic, I don't know if he was a frog or a lizard, but the thing was like some sort of a swamp creature that was huge. And the incredible thing was it was in 1988 and it was on the East Coast and attacked some poor boy's um, car. Guy had a flat tire coming home working late and he went out to change it and this thing attacked him. Thank God he was able to get into the car and he floored it, but the thing landed on the roof of his car. Almost sounded like the creature from the Black Lagoon. And it was scoring up the top of the roof, trying to get him. He was weaving all around. He slammed on the brakes and it threw it onto the ground. So he was able to dodge around it and zipped forward and managed to get home to his dad. And of course, his dad's like, what did you get into? What drugs have you been taking? But his dad went outside and saw the poor car. I mean, it had been scratched up. Only 3 claws, though. That's the weird thing. And it wasn't just that guy that saw it. There had been several other sightings. And then just as soon as it appeared, it vanished. So anyways, it was just a really cool channel. So I was just sharing that. So hello, Carl. How are you today? I hope the world is treating you better. Behind the scenes, we've been helping. Okay, so let me see. So, oh, now that's fascinating. So Carl is saying They're saying, "Hey, hey," sounds like 2 or 3 of our people doing the same thing. "Hey, hey." That's cool. But now they're gone. Actually, I doubt that they're gone. As long as you feel comfortable with it, Paul, just allow it to go ahead and go. Oh, it just stopped. Let me see. So I forgot to mention when I found dear fishy, because Carl has had some of his kitties pass, unfortunately, and was worried that she might have been poisoned. Hmm. Carl, whenever I got it from her, she seemed exhausted from the fight that she had had more than anything. Now, if there was a bird feather there, it's conceivable that someone simply was playing with one of your kitties and just had the feather there. I didn't get that she was poisoned myself. That's not to say that she can't be, because like I said, with your other kitty, I really couldn't feel into her, which is kind of odd. So there might be some obfuscation that's going on there. But I didn't. It felt to me like she had gotten into a fight with your other cat and she was just exhausted from it. And it's conceivable that there was some internal damage whenever that happened as well. Yeah, she said, don't fight. Exactly. It just felt like she shut down, like her adrenals had been pretty much too much. It was like she had it's not literally like it was a heart attack. It just simply it was like she had just worn out. Yeah, her tongue was. And that was what I was saying earlier. With rigor mortis, you'll find a lot of strangeness that will happen. Sometimes they'll be in odd poses. It could be heart failure, and that could be what's happening with your other girl too. Actually, your other girl looked more like congestive heart failure, but it felt like with Fishy that it just simply that she had done the fight, but that she had over. It's like she had depleted herself. And yeah, as Kat is saying, just big, 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 big hugs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think she did. I think maybe to give more space. She felt like she'd had a pretty full life, though. I know it was short. Nobody wants to ever see them leave, but it did feel like she'd had a very full life with you. And yeah, as Paul is saying, I think you'll see her again someday, and it'll be a much better space for all of you. Sorry, just looking. Debbie has the power man. Yes and no. Sometimes I can help with things, but like in the case of the kitties, sometimes whenever they're doing the struggles and things like that, I can do some help with the situation, and especially if you keep playing that one video over and over, the animal support. That will definitely help. You can always play those on an extremely low volume. You might even be able to run those with no sound at all because that's actually quantum mechanics at work with that. But the main thing is you don't have to disrupt anybody else, but it will also be working on your environment at the same time. So the energy that's in there will be balancing your environment as well and will give the best outcome possible. It's very powerful. And that's mostly because what happens with that is the energy whenever it comes into balance, things that aren't in balance with it will come into balance. Oh no. You're part of the show, Carl. I wish I could do more for you. And that's what I'm trying to explain. Karen Robinson will tell you the same thing. If you keep playing it on a repeat loop, it, it it's like the magic kicks in even more. It amplifies it if you keep it going. So you can repeat it, loop it. And like I said, if you need, what you can do is go ahead and um, even mute it so that you're not disturbing your neighbors in your situation, so that you don't have to worry about upsetting anybody. You can play that either extremely low or even muted, because it's quantum mechanics that's going on that, but you will need to play it. Kat, a few weeks ago at the end of the show, I heard you say, "Have a nice trip." That was me. I left the next day. Too cool. I hope you had a nice trip. Yeah, I do. I do, Carl. And, I feel for you because I've lived in Guatemala before, so I understand the conditions that you're working in and that you're living in. And it's very difficult. And so, yeah, if you would just do that, and like I said, try it just muted. And I think that will help you give the best outcome for you and your kitties. Okay? So, yeah, I'll be back next week. That's for sure. So let me see. Okay, back to work. Yay. You have a great night, everybody, and I'll need to come on more. Okay. Well, I'm actually going to be coming on next week. I should be back on Tuesday. And see, the headset is why I tried to avoid wearing a headset. But yeah, thanks for coming in, Paul, and I hope to see you around soon. So, Kat went to the Oregon. You went to the Oregon coast. How wonderful! Then you would have had a beautiful trip, no matter where you went. And yeah, best of luck with that one, Carl. It's like I said, I know unfortunately that you're in a really it's a difficult situation. It really is. And I understand that. Yeah, me too. I'm glad you came here. Kat, where did you end up going to on the Oregon coast? Doggo and me loved it. Yeah. Yeah, I love that the Oregon coast really is helpful. Oh my, somebody's got some fire trucks going through. It's a lot of excitement there. But yeah, very dog friendly and a lot of beaches to explore too. Our beaches, they try to keep the beaches open to everybody. I've noticed, unfortunately, our park service, and I don't know why they are doing this, they seem to be charging for our parking, which is a bunch of bullpucky, because as a local, we pay for that. Oh my word, you were here. That's kind of ridiculous that I was actually taking a break. So you would have seen the cove, and yeah, there's I think it's called Sunset Beach, that's in between Seaside and Gerhardt. And the elk that you would have seen if you were there, that would have been the main herd that we had here originally. They split off and they migrated up, thankfully, into Gerhardt. And so the elk herd that we have remaining is the teen herd that split. So half of my teen herd went down into Cannon Beach, and then the other half is still remaining where we are. Yep, you saw the elk. Yeah, those would have been the main herd that we had here. Yeah. So let me see. Cats and dogs are welcome here in the malls at Manila. That's beautiful. So Debbie, I just got that. Terry and Kelly will be on Friday. Friday. You have a great rest of the week, and I don't know what kind of fun you'll be doing. Yeah, there'll be. Is that Kelly Cali Healer then? I know that they usually tried to aim for Fridays. It's been a crazy week with the energies, though. And I don't know if everybody caught that, but yeah, yesterday Annie Bear was on. She's now got her show, and she's doing her shows now on Wednesdays at noon Pacific Standard Time. So, yes. Okay, great. So that'll be Callie Healer and Terry. So that'll be tomorrow. What fun. Yeah, it'll be interesting too to see, Paul, what you've got coming in what's been speaking to you on the spirit box. I have my suspicions, but I'm going to keep my yib shut. It may not actually be a ghost that's coming through on your spirit box saying hello. Yeah, that'll be that. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? It has been a while, but it's been nice. Everybody needs a little bit of a break from time to time, especially whenever things go with a bed sheet shank. Left Cannon Beach looking for a place to eat. Had some amazing clam chowder at a local place in Seaside, away from the tourist strip. Oh, beautiful. That's gorgeous. It is kind of, yeah. Paul, go ahead and tell Carl what you've got there for your toy. And there is so many amazing clam chowders. Last clam chowder I had was down in Newport, actually. My sister did it like, okay, okay. Okay. So since Paul's a little hesitant, um, it basically is a box that's been created, and what it does is, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, it picks up different frequencies and will translate them into words. So yes, ghosts could have, I don't have one, but Paul does. And so what it does is it allows spirits. So it could be ghosts. Like in the case of Carl, I'm sure that he's very familiar with the ghosts because they have quite a different culture around for the Philippines. But yeah, it allows ancestors or loved ones that have passed over to speak, but you can get different entities that come through as well. I've seen them used in different places, and sometimes they'll come in and I gotta be honest, sometimes they are flat out demonic, but sometimes I think that they may be ghosts that were pranksters in this lifetime, and they think it's really funny to pull tricks on people, and so they'll say bad words or they'll say mean words just to get a rise out of the people. But there are other beings that can come through. There are, of course, our loved ones that have passed over that can come through. And there are also ghosts that come through, but also you can get elementals that will come through as well. How hot is it at where you're at, Carl? How warm is it? 222 in the morning. That's a great power number. It's good for manifesting. Make a wish. Oh, it's typhoon season. Oh no. Are you higher up, Carl? Are you located in an area that's not on the flats? A lot of the mosquitoes. I've heard that the vanilla, actually, they don't like vanilla smell. I haven't tried that one yet. Anything's worth a try whenever it comes to mosquitoes. Thankfully, they're really weak flyers, so even just a simple fan can keep them away. Oh no. Have you got something? So, are you capable of keeping your kitties up on the bed then? I haven't paid that much attention to your corner of the world, but I'll certainly, when I do that, I'll add that into my morning meditations. Mm. Yeah, but Carl, there's an area like around the beaches and things, sometimes in the Philippines, the lowlands especially will get really flooded. I was just checking to make sure that you were higher up than that because sometimes that stuff comes in the middle of the night and then you end up dead. Oops, that's not a word we're supposed to use here. Sorry, I keep forgetting YouTube. Oh, good. Okay, so your kitties are at least safe and you're safe. That's great. The floor is always wet, so I'm living in a basement. That's tough. Well, we're just going to say a prayer that your situation changes and shifts so that you can get into a safer, better aligned environment for you and your kitties. You don't have a dog, do you, Carl? You don't have a puppy, do you? It's just kitties, right? You take such good care of your kitties. My apartment before flooded. Oh my goodness, that's why. Yeah, but I never had luck there. I agree. Sometimes you just have to shift where you're at in order to make things work. So we'll put that out to the angels. We'll see if we can call in some angels for you and get that to help. Get you a better landing space. Yeah, typhoon season happens. When does your typhoon season taper off? Should be somewhere in March, right? Mm, sure, sure. Sometimes it can be harder with the dogs, especially when you live in the Philippines, because it was very similar. Oh, okay, that long. Okay. Um, when I lived in Guatemala, the attitude towards animals in the Philippines and Guatemala is quite different than what we have in, say, the United States or Canada or like the UK or Europe. It's a different mindset, and so the medical facilities or doctors that are available there is quite different. It's not the same, so it can be more of a struggle. And yeah, I would think with the dogs it would be a little more difficult in your situation. Cats, thankfully, are a bit more of a survivor, and they tend to look out for themselves better. And of course, with them being mostly quiet, they're easier um, if you need to move a lot. That's wonderful. The doctor's good, very empathic. That's wonderful to hear. The doctors that we had done in Guatemala, they tried, but there were so few of them, and the facilities just simply were not up to snuff whenever I lived there. But that was back in the 90s. So hopefully things have changed. I'm hoping that the attitudes towards animals have changed. Um, it was it was quite different. The attitude back then was quite different, and the level of care was practically non-existent. Although you could get things like dewormers or antibiotics at your local tienda, which is just your local drugstore, grocery store, convenience store, kind of like a 7-Eleven on every street corner. Um, you could get those there, but the actual doctors, especially for the pets, didn't exist in Guatemala back then. And as I said, the attitudes towards the animals were completely different from what I had grown up with. Of course, I tend to be very completely different whenever it comes to the animals up here, and so a lot of times um, up here, I tend to think of my animals as family, and so some people just don't. They pan, they'll ask you anesthesia or no anesthesia. Very impersonal. Yeah, hey, howdy. Although, now that you're saying that, because I'm thinking, yeah, humans wouldn't like that very much. But there are some dentists that use acupuncture points. And so instead of doing anesthesia for their dentistry, they'll actually use the acupuncture points in order to numb the mouth. And it works really well. Yeah, very professional in Japan. And it has to be said in Guatemala, it wasn't so much. It was where that culture was and their growth stage, I guess you could say. And yeah, very expensive. It is the same thing in Guatemala. You could get health care for your pet, but it was very limited and it was going to be extremely expensive. Quite unique. Definitely different. Alrighty, my dears, I need to flit, as my friends from the UK would say. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. And Carl, hang in there. I hope that your fortunes will turn around very, very quickly, surround you with a whole bunch of angels. And so my next time that I'm going to be on is going to be next Tuesday. I should be back at my regular allotted day and time, all things considered. So thank you so much for stopping in and hanging out with me today. And I will see you next Tuesday. Wawa nui. Wawa, everybody. Bye.